A couple of things have happened this week that have made me stop and think about something. The first is this. I have been doing a little work. I play the upright bass. Some people know that, some people don't. I don't play it brilliantly, just so you know. But I do like to practice, and the way I tend to practice, because bass is an instrument that's best with others, I practice because I'm listening to something and I'm playing along with it. So often those somethings are actually sort of little embedded videos in the app that I'm using. And I saw two different videos this past week. I forget what the songs were. It doesn't really particularly matter. But in one of them, there was just this video clip of some adult people being baptized and just coming up out of the water with this great sense of joy in their face. And it struck me. So I stopped. It struck me. And then another one was just literally the artist that was singing. At a given point, there was just, again, this incredible sense of delight and joy in his countenance. And it struck me suddenly, like, I wonder sometimes, has the joy gone away? It also reminds me, the other thing that's happened that made me think about is as you read the Psalms, and I'm a big fan of reading the Psalms regularly and living in the Psalms because they just resonate. But so many of the Psalms, even the Psalm that's appointed for today is the feast of St. Mary the Virgin. The Psalm appointed for today begins, I will always give thanks unto the Lord. His praise shall ever be in my mouth. My soul shall make its boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear this and be glad. There's this throughout the scriptures, this sense of joy and delight in the goodness, the reality of God, the way that God interacts with our lives that just brings delight and joy. And it also reminds me of, there's this great line at the end of the last battle in C.S. Lewis's Narnia series, where Aslan sees all the people assembled, and he says this wonderful thing, you do not seem to be yet as happy as I mean you to be. And that is, I think, something that we as Christians should stop and think about. Are we actually as happy as God means us to be? That is not to say that there aren't struggles in our lives, and not to say that everything is cheerful every minute of the day, but as you read the Psalms, as you read certainly the psalmists who are struggling with things, there's still this sense of delight. And there are these moments where people, certainly in these worship videos, these moments of people being just alive and delighting in the presence, the reality of God in their lives. And I think if you're anything like me, sometimes just the distractions of things that we need to get done, and the things that this is a very serious business that we're about, so we need to be very concerned about the very serious business we're about. We really we tend to forget the reality of God being present and doing, He alone does marvelous things. It is what Jesus is talking about in the parable of the sower in Matthew chapter 13, where the seed falls among the thorns, and the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches choke out the word for us. And I think that's so easy for us as Christians, and perhaps particularly us as Anglicans, or I don't know if it's just us as Anglicans, but generally speaking, that our cares, the seriousness of things, our worries will choke out the reality that there is so much to be deeply joyful for. The goodness of God surrounds us. Actually, the miraculous and supernatural goodness of God surrounds us. God continues to change people's lives so that they come up out of the waters of baptism with a great sense of joy. I just want to remind us of this, and I just want to read from Psalm 34 again. This is from the prayer book. It's so good. I will always give thanks unto the Lord. His praise shall ever be in my mouth. My soul shall make its boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear and be glad. O praise the Lord with me, and let us magnify his name together. I sought the Lord, and he heard me. He delivered me out of all my fears. They looked unto him and were made glad, and their faces were not ashamed. Look, the poor man cries, and the Lord hears him and saves him out of his trouble. The angel of the Lord camps around about those who fear him and delivers them in time of need. O taste and see how gracious the Lord is. Blessed is the one who trusts in him. O fear the Lord, you who are his saints, for those who fear him lack nothing. Here in the psalm, we see this reminder of the goodness, the graciousness of God. And in the end, as you think about this, as you think about the gospel, the reality of Jesus coming to us, the reality of the presence of God with us, even today, there is a lot to be joyful about.